dissolution of the Niger Delta Ministry this week by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been eliciting mixed reactions across the polity, most especially in the oil-rich region now, where a host of leaders and activists are clearly not comfortable with the federal government's explanation that the ministry has been renamed and not scrapped. This agitation is being spearheaded by elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark, who alleged that the government was planning to use the resources of the South-South zone to fund other zonal development commissions. While another critical stakeholder in the Niger Delta is joining us now to share his thoughts on that matter, and that is Professor Benjamin Okaba, the president of Ijaw National Congress Worldwide. Good morning and many thanks for joining us, Professor. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now let's get straight into it.
Morning.
Good. Now let's get straight into it. The government, the federal government, the presidency has said that they have not scrapped the ministry, they have not scrapped the Niger Delta Development Commission, that they have subsumed it into a ministry to handle all the developmental commissions. This is to reduce the cost of governance, which a lot of Nigerians have been calling for. Do you disagree with this move that the president has made?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I disagree totally with the explanations given by the minister of the new ministry, Ministry of Regional Development. It's very, very obvious that what he termed as renaming is actually not renaming. It's dismantling of, it's exactly the dismantling of the Ministry of Niger Delta. We just have to recall that President Yar'Adua in 2008 established the Ministry of Niger Delta as a body. Okay, as a body to promote and coordinate the advancement of peace and security in the Niger Delta. Because of to address the rising tension and the high level of deprivation in infrastructure and many other ramifications. And over the years, all successive governments have strengthened this ministry, and to a large extent, so much has been achieved in terms of advancing human capital development, addressing issues of environmental degradation, and also bringing about the needed peace in the region. We will not say that the ministry has achieved so much, but at least it has turned the tide of the disillusionment that was so heightened in the region before the creation of the ministry. So coming at this time to scrap it is seen as a slap on the people of the region, particularly at the time where other regions are having development commissions. You have the Northeast, you have Southeast, you have this, you have that, and the Niger Delta that bears the brunt of oil production suffers so much hardship and degradation as a result of this. Is again this denied. You know, we'll be talking about marginalization, exclusion in several manners, from the polity, from in way of infrastructure. This is yet another very provocative and inflammatory action taken by the federal government. And we think that under whatever guise, it is not, the minister's explanation is not apt in any way. He's just struggling to justify something that is not justiciable. So we just call on the federal government to do a revert. You should revert the decision. Revert the decision. Let me quickly say that Edwin Clark, the Chairman Board of Trustees of the Ijaw National Congress, has spoken our mind, and we also join our others who reasonably feel that the scrapping of the Ministry of Niger Delta is unacceptable to our people. It's unacceptable to our people. As leaders of the region, we are managing to calm down nerves. We are managing to calm down nerves, and the government should quickly do the needful, take us back to status quo. We can't, because you have not even answered the question of how these other commissions that are established here and there without the South-South Commission. How are these commissions going to be funded? Are they going to be funded with resources from the Niger Delta? These are issues that we need to talk about. And it's also very important to also note that the Niger Delta Ministry is a product of a negotiation. Yaradua involved leaders of the region, called them to a round table, and the option of establishing the Niger Delta Ministry was taken by all of us, agreeing. So how do you go out there and scrap it by scrap? We know that Tinubu had lost this ambition of scrapping the Niger Delta on all intervention agencies in the region. For reasons we don't know. For reasons we don't know. Because in spite of the fact that we produce the oil that feeds this country, we get nothing. In fact, we don't know what we have attained from this Tinubu Delta administration, apart from the appointment of somebody, an Ijaw lady, as head of service. The minister is a constitutional this thing that every state must produce a minister. So if we have that, that is there. So we are having issues of deprivation. Adding this one is to add salt to injury.
Thanks for the way that you have analyzed your displeasure about what President Tinubu has said. But a lot of Nigerians would like to know what specifically will Niger Delta region lose by not having a ministry that is wholly devoted to Niger Delta affairs? NDDC is still there, and you know, of course, that there was no Niger Delta ministry in the 8 years of Obasanjo presidency. But it was Obasanjo presidency in June of 2000 that gave the region NDDC. So there was development. And the Yaradua came, like you said, there was a negotiation, and the ministry came. But you know, sir, that the development that the country is witnessing now requires that all the development commissions in all the other parts of the region should, in a way, not just run in silos, but have a ministry that will look after all of them, while you still have the NDDC, dealing with the specific needs of Niger Delta. So my question to you, therefore, will be, what is it that you think that you'll be losing, other than just have that that ministry named after Niger Delta Development Commission? Because between Emma Ufotekaite and up to Godswill Akpabio before the current minister, what are the things that you can point at that if the Niger Delta Ministry had not been there, your region would have been denied those goods?
Okay, thank you very much for that very intelligent question. Let us first of all separate or make a distinction between the NDDC and the ministry. By the act establishing the NDDC, the NDDC was to actually serve as a special purpose vehicle to fast-track development. That means to make the region catch up with the development strength of this nation, having been denied, having been shortchanged, having been neglected for so long. And I'm sure if the required resources were pumped into the NDDC with less corruption and over issues of overbearance from the political class, and if the right things were done, maybe by now NDDC should have been able to to deliver on its core mandate. Now, remember still that the Ministry of Niger Delta, if you look at the enabling policy document, it says the ministry is created to promote and coordinate. So the Niger Delta, NDDC, and the Ministry of Niger Delta do not mean the same thing. And secondly, if you look at the composition of the NDDC is no longer of the Niger Delta. We have, because when you talk about Niger Delta, core Niger Delta, you are talking about the South-South, the core South-South states. But today we have 3 other states. And these 3 other states are part of, one is part of the Southwest Development Commission. 2 of them on to the left are part of the Southeast Commission. So NDDC is not serving only the interest of the Niger Delta, of the South-South. They have commissions. These are commissions. So NDDC is like a commission made for every state that is oil producing. That is the politicization of the political definition of NDDC. It is different from having a ministry or a commission that is dedicated to actualizing the dreams of the South-South. You ask, what do we lose? First and foremost, we've lost trust. We've lost trust in the government because in the first place, we had an agreement going forward that this is the trajectory that will be followed in providing sustainable development in the region. This has been taken away. Then number 2, you ask of what do we stand to lose? We stand to lose a lot. Yes, NDDC is doing its bit, but with a ministry, but the Ministry of the Niger Delta coordinating, not as a stopgap approach. The ministry has a greater responsibility of coordinating development processes, of coming out with policy documents that can drive development in a sustainable manner. So these two, the differences between these two must be understood. So NDDC is not a replacement for the ministry. If today, and secondly, why people are even more concerned is that now you are talking about development commission. Development commission is this and other. Where is this South-South Development Commission? You say, yes, where is the South-South Development Commission? You must place us all at par before you think of coordinating the ministries.
All right, then let me come in here, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. This new move, of course, we've seen Chief Edwin Clark reacting, other regional leaders also reacting and alleging that the federal government might be diverting resources meant for the Niger Delta to other zones. I want to ask if you believe that this in itself is a legitimate concern, and if it is, what transparency measures would you advocate for? And how do you foresee the restructuring of the Niger Delta Ministry impacting development initiatives and ongoing projects as of now in the region? Are there any immediate projects that you believe could be at risk? So transparency, advocacy, and what projects you believe could be at risk?
Okay, I got the first part. I don't know if I take the second part of the question.
Okay, so I was asking if you are, just talking about how Chief Edwin Clark and other regional leaders have alleged that the federal government is diverting certain funds, and if you believe that this is a legitimate concern, what you are doing to make sure that there are transparency measures that you could advocate for. And the second part of that is if you are foreseeing the restructuring of the Niger Delta Ministry impacting development initiatives that are ongoing, projects that are ongoing now in the region. Are there any immediate projects that you believe could be at risk that the federal government should focus on?
Okay. Let me take the first part of the question. The issue of diverting funds from the region to develop other places. That is not new now. We all know that in this country, what belongs to the Niger Delta belongs to everybody. The oil that is the oil and gas that we produce in this country, major resources that sustain this nation, is gotten from the Niger Delta, and it forms a very critical section of the total revenue earning of this nation. That is the only thing that is shared by FAC. That is shared. The gold is not shared by FAC. Other solid mineral resources that are mined in other parts of these countries belong to them. It is our oil that belongs to everybody. So Edwin Clark's statement is very apt. To drive it maybe further, is to say that, okay, you're talking about North-South-East Commission. Let the government tell us from what sources will they use the funding. It's not going to be oil. Let us also tell us. So it all boils down to the issue of resource control. In fact, all these, it will get, unless we are let us faithfully drive the process of restructuring the entirety. You don't take restructuring in piece and pieces. Where it favors you implement. Where it does not, let us take a holistic look at restructuring, right? And the basis is derivation. Let the states manage their resources. Resource control is taking place in some other places, like I said, when it comes to the issues of solid minerals. It is only the oil that is not controlled by those who own it. And that is the point they are making. So if you are talking about what policy measures you will use, what policy measures do you want to use? Government must make all resources, every resource of this nation, right, to be owned by the people, and let appropriate taxes be paid. Let the states and federating units be given the responsibility of managing their affairs in the manner they want to have it. If they want to have two commissions, let them have commissions. Let their ministries run lists. Because at the end of the day, because again, these, when you talk about the oil and gas resources, these are situated in minority enclaves, and in a central that is dominated by people who are with less influence from the minorities. What do you expect? So I don't see any regulation or any financial regulations that are going to change anything, except for the fact that let us have proper restructuring. Let us have economic restructuring. Let us all own what is found in our domain. Let us work on our comparative advantages. Nigeria will grow better. Nigeria is blessed with resources everywhere. Every state in this country, every community in this country has the capacity of feeding itself. We should stop this feeding bottle approach. That is Edwin Clark and other leaders' statement is a furtherance of this feeding bottle approach, using the resources of a region to feed other commissions. Let them tell us what will be used in funding the North-East Commission, if not of the oil that is coming from the region. That's about that.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Professor Okaba, we are stressed for time, but very quickly before we let you go, you said earlier that what the president has done is unacceptable to you, and that you do not want a regional development ministry. Rather, you would prefer that the Niger Delta Development Ministry should remain. If the president does not accede to your request, what will you do? What will the stakeholders in the Niger Delta do? Does that mean that you will withhold support for the new ministry?
Well, a statement has been made by government, and we have every right to react. And our reaction is that it's unacceptable. It is, for us, inflammatory. It is also a very big disregard and shows some level of insensitivity to the yearnings of the people of the region. I cannot, as I speak now, tell you what we will do, but I can tell you that we are talking to ourselves, and we are going to respond appropriately at the appropriate time. But for now, let it be known and said that for peace to continue to reign, let the president do the needful. It is a very bad policy. It's a very bad policy. It is very vindictive. It's discriminatory. And the only solution to whatever is for government to withdraw the policy and allow the military flow. And also very importantly, call for a dialogue. Let there be. Let us. Looking forward. Come up with some contributions, some ideas, sitting together with government that will move us forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us on the show this morning.